Hey, what up, everyone? I'm Sinnycool, and this is Gems of War. And today I have three teams for you for the Sentinel class event: a high-level team, a mid-level team, and a low-level team. It was an Urska restriction, so pretty tight restriction, but you do have access to King Mikhail, who's a really good troop. So if you're a high-level player or a mid-level player, you should probably have access to King Mikhail. And Urskula. Urskula starts Urska with 50% mana, which is nice. So probably throw her on your team as long as you... I think it's a woman. I don't know. It's a lady bear, I think. I think everything in the restriction is an Urska. So if you have Urskula, you should probably plop it on the end of your team and go from there. 50% start is always nice. And with King Mikhail too, who explodes a whole row, you're going to have a lot of mana generation going on, so you don't need like another mana generator. And there's not really anything to mana generate in this restriction anyway, so King Mikhail is the best option. It does damage to all enemies, and it's sort of a mana generator, especially with two of them going. Two of them exploding a row. That takes out 3 whole rows of gems, which should give you some decent mana generation. The Dawnbringer on top because we have all yellow allies, like we just happened to this time. It wasn't a convoluted, I put yellow troops on there for the Dawnbringer to hit harder, and sometimes it's all convoluted and I'm just picking from the yellow troops. But this time it's actually cohesive and works well. Double King Mikhail with the Urskula is what you're going to do anyway. You might as well put the Dawnbringer on there so it can do the most damage it's ever going to do with all yellow allies. So Dawnbringer, King Mikhail, Urskula. I wouldn't be mad at it if you put King Mikhail in first slot, but I was just getting up Dawnbringer with yellow, red, or blue and casting it and winning. And once it stops one-shotting, you can cast the King Mikhail, who also hits pretty hard on his own. So if you don't have Dawnbringer, let's say you're a mid-game player, a mid-level player, and in that case, with my own restriction here, I don't do Mythics and I don't do Dawnbringer for the mid-level team. So we have Axe of the North instead. To the north. It's in the Soul Forge right now. It's a weapon you should probably get because it's good for the Guardian team. Triple Persistence, or Triple Defiance with the Axe of the North. That's the weapon for the Triple Defiance Guardian team, the Brown Guardian team. So you should probably have it because you want all the Guardian weapons for whenever you're going to use those Guardian teams, especially as a mid-level player or a low-level player. Later in the game, as you get to be a high-level player, you don't use the Guardian teams as much, but early game and mid-game, you use them quite a bit because they're very good against the color that they are. So Finesse will crush yellow, Defiance will crush brown. If you go to a faction and it's a brown faction with a lot of brown enemies, Defiance is good. Same thing with like Finesse with yellow. Same thing with Ferocity with red. So it's a very good strategy to employ early in the game and mid-game when you don't have some of the better mythics. So definitely want that Axe of the North. It's only 300 diamonds, so you probably shouldn't leave this week without Kurandara, who's only 1,000 diamonds, and on a big-time sale, and the Axe of the North, which is only 300 diamonds. It goes perfectly with Defiance. So this is the same thing as the last team, except for you got Axe of the North, which makes, I think, brown and green, maybe? Something like that. It makes brown, which you use for King Mikhail, so you can get him up, and then he can cast, hit all the enemies, and you win. So same thing as the last team, except for Axe of the North at the top. And Axe of the North has an Enrage on it, so that's why it's in first slot. King Mikhail does too, but so does the Axe of the North. So you might as well put it in first slot with your hero, who's a good tank. I forget what class I used there. I think I was just leveling a class, so... Or you can use Sentinel if you want. If you're trying to level Sentinel, go for it. But on those first two teams, just do a 50% start class that you're trying to level. This team is the low-level team, so this was pretty hard. There's not very much for low-level players here. You might just have to go down like a Black Manacles route with a Spirit of Rage and a couple other things. But I tried to go down the Skull route with Mang. You're going to have to be careful here. This isn't going to be just a brainless... you can't just flail around and move whatever you want, and you got to kind of play this strategically. You can't... it's not just going to win for you automatically. It's a Mang team. You're using skulls. You're putting skulls on the board. You're going to get backfired a little bit. So you do got to play it carefully. But it was the best team I could come up with for the low-level players. No mythics, no legendaries. So you can't use King Mikhail. You can't use Urskula. But if you do have those, make sure you put them on your team. So if you're a low-level player, an early game player, if you happen to have King Mikhail or Urskula, you can replace something on this team, especially one of the corrupted. Are they corrupted Urska? I forget the name of the ones at the bottom. Yeah, corrupted Urska. But with this team, Mang, shoot Mang on the thing with the highest armor. That'll give you attack. The corrupted Urska will make skulls for you, and in Rage, just try to hit some purple. Spirit of Rage will be your mana generator. Take Brown so you can get your barrier. Use Titan class. So that's basically it. Use skulls. Corrupted Urska will make the skulls. Spirit of Rage mana generator. Mang getting attack. Like, share, subscribe, consider joining. Helps a lot. Get about the channel comment below, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.